Hi, and welcome to my kitchen. This is Laura Whip here, and today we're going to make kombucha. So kombucha is a really great a beverage to have because it's fermented tea, which acts as a probiotic and provides your intestinal system and your digestive system with a lot of good nutrients and friendly flora. So let's get started. I'm going to make a half a batch of kombucha. That's how much I tend to drink in about a week's time, and so each weekend I start a new batch for myself. And we're going to start with 1.75 quarts of water. And so I'm going to heat that to a boil in my kettle. And that's almost 2 quarts, which is almost a half a gallon. And that little bit that's not included in the 2 quarts, you're going to find out why in a couple minutes. Why we leave it short just a little bit because we add something later. So once that water is boiling, then you're going to add a half a cup of sugar, and you're going to add 3 to 4 tea bags and let them steep until the liquid cools. And so I have my 3 tea bags here. Black tea is really the best, but you could also use green tea. And I sometimes want to help the cooling process because I'm in a hurry to make my kombucha and get it going. So I will set my pot in an ice water bath in order to cool the tea down and help it finish steeping. But you can just leave it sit on the stovetop until it is room temperature. Then you discard the tea bags and you are ready to pour your sweetened tea into a container. This is the container I use. It's a 1 gallon container and it's got a spigot on it. That's not necessary, it just happens to be what I use. Once I put the tea into my gallon container, I have to add the half a cup of starter mix or liquid from my last batch of kombucha along with a SCOBY, which is the starter. And you can get a SCOBY online, you can get it from a friend. So that's what I use, and I always keep my SCOBY and then use it for the next batch and the next batch until it's thick enough to separate, and then I have 2 SCOBYs that I can use intermittently or interchangeably. So once you have your liquid in your gallon jug, you should cover it, but not with the lid, nothing that's going to seal it tight. What I like to use are 2 coffee filters together and just a rubber band or elastic to go over the top, and that way any tiny insects or microbes that are floating around in the air cannot get into your batch of kombucha, but your kombucha can breathe and ferment. And then I set it on the kitchen counter for 7 to 10 days, and really 10 days is the absolute best for me because my kombucha will then be a little bit fizzy and well fermented. So what I do after that is you're going to pour the kombucha that you made into 2 quart jars, and it doesn't fill the quart jars completely, but that's good because you want to have some headroom. And I sit this on my counter out of direct sunlight for another 2 days or so, and that just helps kind of carbonate it and get it ready to drink. And during that time I add a couple drops of essential oil, and my current favorite is doTERRA Wild Orange Essential Oil. I just love the orange flavor, and the orange does so many great things for me. It helps filter organs because it's acidic. It's an acidic citrus oil, and I just really love the flavor too. It's very uplifting. But you can use fresh fruit in those 2 days while the kombucha is carbonating, and then filter the fruit back out. You could use other essential oils, or you could just drink it without extra flavoring. It's very good that way too. Then once it has sat on the countertop for a couple of days, I'm ready to put it in the refrigerator, and it's good for drinking. And you will notice that when you loosen the lid on your canning jar, I love to use canning jars for my kombucha. When you loosen the lid, you will hear it pop, and that tells you that it has been carbonating. So this is a very good probiotic beverage to drink. It's really good for your whole digestive system, and I hope you can start making your batch of kombucha today. please look at the link below because I will give you a recipe and some tips on making kombucha down there. Have a great day. Have a great Sunday. It's beautiful here in the North Woods.